What's happening, everyone? We're back today with another video. So today we're going to be trying to sort this top end rattle on the caddy. I think I have an idea of what it could be now. So we're going to have to obviously get all the cam belt chain back off again, drain the oil. We're also going to pull the sump, and we're going to get the oil squirters off for the pistons. And yeah, so it's going to be quite a long day. We've done this enough times, so we are going to speed through it because I just want to get this over and done with, and I got here a bit later than what I wanted to. So yeah, I'm just going to get the car jacked up, get the oil draining, and then I will start stripping the top half of the engine. And then hopefully once that's done and the oil is drained, I'll then have to support the top half of the engine and then obviously get the sump off of the actual engine itself. So yeah, let's just get to it.
So to begin with, we're going to get this intake off as well as its stupid bracket. Then we're going to get the battery out with the tray in order to access the chain housing. As you can see, we're getting the vacuum pipe off as well as the fuel pump, and then we can remove that chain cover housing. So now to the cam belt side, we have to remove everything in order to get to the cam belt. So that's tensioner, belts, engine mounts, coolant bottle, charcoal can, all that good stuff, including all the covers as well. We've supported the engine so it doesn't obviously fall off with no mount, and then we can get obviously the crank pulley off, covers, all that good stuff, as well as the rocker cover. Now all the cam belt and stuff's off, we can now get the chain off. Luckily the variator came straight off with the tensioner, and then we just got to take obviously the timing tool out and get this camshaft girdle off in order to remove the camshafts.
Okay, so as you can see, all the cams are out now, all that good stuff. I've spent some time cleaning all the surfaces, and I've currently got the cam carrier in the parts wash. Could probably do with a little bit more here by the looks of it, however it's just embedded into the actual head itself. Let me get a stool so I can reach, because this fan's quite high up. Air blowed all the little galleries, as you can see. Found a few bits of silicone here and there, however nothing really major. And I've also run a brush through the side of the head here, so it goes through, so you can see it there, and it will just go across all the way. Again, not really found nothing too major on that. If I have, it's only a tiny little bit. I know they've got quite small galleries, but yeah, nothing really crazy. So what I'm going to do, like in the last video when doing engine work, I've actually pulled the sump and shown you obviously the oil pump. So what I'm going to do off camera is pull the sump, probably get the oil pump back out, and then obviously try and air blow the galleries from there, and hopefully try and shift whatever is potentially causing a blockage, if there is one, because I'm pretty certain there is somewhere. And then what I'm going to do is, when I built the engine, I never changed the piston oil squirters, so I'm going to actually remove 3 out of the 4, because you've got to remove the crank in order to get the 4th one out. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that today, so I'll have to do that at a later date. And Bartek sell a suitable one more for the JE piston to give a better spray pattern. So I'm just going to quickly pull the sump off camera and go from there. Okay, so as you can see, pump is off, sump is off. If you've watched the previous video, you'll know how to do all this. If you haven't, please check it out. Anyway, enough of the shameless plug. As you can see, just there we've got a new squirter in, and just here we have a new squirter in. As you can see with the actual cylinder 4 one, it is an absolute nightmare to get onto because the crank trigger wheel's in the way. You can just about see it, but there is no hope of getting that out without taking the crank out. Obviously with this side you have to take the pump out on the 1.8T setup, but if you've got a TFSI pump, like a 2 litre, you have to take the pump out anyway, so it makes no odds to you at this point. But all we have to do is rotate the engine round to expose this one. I left what looked like the easier one till last anyway, just because I wanted an idea of actually how I'm going to do this and whether it's possible to do this today. I've also blown out all the galleries because obviously this one's used by the 1.8T pump, hence the bigger pressure that you're meant to have with them. It took a few seconds to actually come through, and as you can see the crank's now actually dripping where I've blown all the galleries through. I did actually find some crud and some silicone come out actually through the crank, which was a bit concerning, but it's just where I forced it through. I see all the squirters working on the pistons, which was nice when obviously blowing it through. But I did find that actually come out, as you can see that on my finger. That was one of the pieces that actually flew out, and there was like a long skinny bit as well, but I don't know where it's gone now. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to rotate the engine over, and I'm going to try and get the camera under here, but as you can see it is pretty awkward, and we will go from there. First of all I need to find all my tools because I don't know what I've done with them. It has become carnage at the minute. Right. Let's try and get this on one-handed whilst holding you guys with me. Okay, beautiful. And as you can see now, it exposes it exactly where we need to, but I'm going to rotate it back a bit more just so we don't get any interference from the crank in any part. So about there will do. What I find is actually to do it with a ratchet off of the extension. So as you can see, that's now on there. Okay, got a ratchet on. Just gonna place you guys down. Right, yeah, we're gonna take this off. I was trying to do it one-handed, but I could feel it trying to slip, and I don't want that. Okay, let's try again. There we go. Come on, get on there. That's it. And there we go. Gently does it. You can see that squirter. Now this one is actually in good condition, and I'll show you compared to the others. Okay, so as you can see, the ball bearing is where it should be anyway, compared to, well, even that's probably not right, but you can see it's not moving anyway. So it's staying sharp, which is what it should be doing, which is good. Whereas one from cylinder 2. Fine. It's really hard to see. Let's do this one. If I get a pick, you can see how easy that was to push down, and then it comes back to the surface when you tip it back. See that? It's failed. Whereas this one, you notice how when I push it, it returns, which means obviously that is doing its job. And these ones are a bit weird, but again, they have a spring motion, as you can see that, look. But that one, nothing, absolutely trashed. And that can cause you a low oil pressure on idle, which could be leading to my problem with obviously the rattling from cold. So it's nice to know that the two that I did have broken, I did put in a position where I can get to them. And obviously this one was just an okay one on cylinder 1. So I'm going to get this back in now, 6mm Allen key with a ball end and a bit of struggling. Okay, so just crawl myself back under here. Okay. Right, so the annoying part about these new ones is the fact of they don't actually stay put whenever you like turn the bolt. So you've got to hold them with like a flat-headed screwdriver. Otherwise you can put them in a wrong position, or even worse, bend them. And we don't want to do neither. Could probably do with coming over a bit. Okay, so that will do. And these are torqued up to 27 Newton meters. So I'll just move you guys out of the way a little bit. And the problem is when you do torque them, they still like to frickin' move. So you still have to put your screwdriver in there, like it's just done to me now. Oh, how annoying. Oh, thank God for that. Okay. Oh, dropped you guys as well. Okay, so now as you can see, the new jet is actually in place. Okay, so another thing that I noticed when going back to the top of the engine, obviously this area is absolutely covered in oil, as you can probably see there. There you go. And all on the bracketry, all that good stuff. And obviously that's where I've been blowing the oil galleries out, and it was here anyway, but I found two big chunks of silicone here and obviously around here somewhere, and they were loose. They weren't like stuck to the chassis or anything, and they were covered in oil. So I'm hoping me doing that has blown that crap out of there, and hopefully now we can just start putting this thing back together and have a happy little TFSI engine again. So the sump is still off, as you can see, no oil pump on it. So what I'm going to do is just get the oil pump back on, and then I'll apply some sealer to the sump, and then I'll fit the sump and all that good stuff, support the engine under the sump again, and I can then obviously start putting the camshafts back in. We are going to struggle with them because obviously I tried getting the pulley off with the puller that we used last time and it did not want to know, which is a bit frustrating. However, we're just going to have to make do with what we got. Okay, so oil pump and the baffle is all back on now, so I'm just going to put some silicone on the sump and get the sump fitted, and then we can move on to the top end. Okay, so as you can see, got genuine VW sealer on the sump. The reason why it's white this time is because I spoke with TPS and the one that I used previously was wrong. So I'm going to quickly wipe the area and get this bad boy on. Okay, so sump is all fitted, turbo oil return all fitted. Really sorry about the lighting, my head torch is dying and the lighting in here is absolutely diabolical in the position where this van is at the minute. And I've just put all the boost piping back on. So just got to tighten that Jubilee clip up. And we can then start putting the engine back together. Okay, that's all done now. Just start putting this top end back together.
So we'll start off by putting the rocker arms and lifters back in the engine, followed by the camshafts. Then we'll put our new bogey green sealer onto the cam carrier and then torque it down to spec. Now you're probably thinking, why the hell are you using this green sealer? It's because I originally used the wrong sealer, which caused half of my fucking issues.
Okay, so time is getting on. As you well know, it's now dark. Cams are all in and torqued. Cam belt is now on. I'm just putting the covers on. Obviously, as you can see, the bottom pulley's on as well. And chain is on and a brand new variator has been fitted. Now, the problem is, I didn't realise with this silicone, if I just touch that You can see it's still very, very wet, which means obviously I ain't going to be able to run this today. So yeah, unfortunately I'm walking home tonight. However, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get this back together off camera because this has taken a lot of my time up today and I want to go home now. I'm pretty tired. Hopefully I'll come in tomorrow, fill it up with some oil and outro this video with hopefully a bit of good news. So yeah, I'm gonna crack on and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow with some good news. Okay, so it is, as you can see, getting dark. Typical approach to the British winter. So car is back together. It is about 6 days after it all got put back together. Sorry it is a bit dark. But yeah, as you can see, been driving it for quite a while now. I did actually have an issue where the filter housing started leaking again, so I had to fix that again yesterday, getting all new gaskets, which obviously shows that we've had a improvement in oil pressure. So it's not a bad thing, but it's also a pain in the rear end because I had to redo my work again. As for the noise is still there. However, it has improved. At this point, I really don't know. We've tried to thicker oil, and again, it improved it even further, which I'll demonstrate to you in a second. But yeah, I'm clueless at this point. I think it's just a case of I'm going to try another oil that I've been recommended by Bartek and go from there. However, other than that, I think I'm just going to have to drive this thing and let it either present itself or it could even bed itself and go away. My main thing that I think it could be is probably false knock, because obviously I did use a standard block size and put forged pistons, and as you know, you need more clearance. And obviously mine were not flawless like you would if you oversized the bore and got it done by a machine shop. So that could be my problem. I don't know, because when it gets warm, it sounds lovely. But yeah, let's start this thing up, show you how it goes, and we will call it a day for this video. So as you can see, you can still somewhat hear it, but you'll find after a few seconds it will just go away. There you go, it's already started now as I said it. And as you could tell before, it used to go on for ages. Let's see, it's been sat for a few hours, so it is definitely cold. Just to prove to you that I'm not lying, it is pretty cold. So turn that off because we don't want to piss off any neighbours. But yeah, as you can see, it is majorly improved. So I'm hoping this oil that Bartek have recommended will actually solve this, because it goes away pretty fast now. However, that's all for today's video. Again, more L's taken, but we will try and flip them as always. If you did like the video, please be sure to like, comment and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.